You don't find me ugly crying on the court for no reason. That raw emotion that came out after Game 6 kind of signaled how much this meant to me, how much this meant to our team. You know, the first one, you don't really know what you're doing until you accomplish it, and then, you know, you're celebrating. The next two were kind of validation for the, you know, trying to remain champions. But after this last 3 years and winning that one, definitely the most special.
All right, so keeping things in that wheelhouse, would you rather have this ring taken away or the two you won during the Kevin Durant era?
No, I want this one. No, give me this one all day, every day.
Steph Curry, the best point guard in the world, is coming off his 4th championship victory in his last 8 seasons. And his Warriors team once again is the gold standard in the NBA. You would think after being so dominant, finally getting a Finals MVP, beating the Celtics, all the Curry doubters would finally be silenced. But I'm sorry to tell you, that is far from the case. As Fox Sports analyst and longtime Curry hater, Rob Parker claims Steph Curry without Kevin Durant is not an all-time great player.
What are you doing?
I'm not smoking crack.
Don't lie to me.
No, I am smoking crack.
To 95% NBA fans, that statement is absolutely atrocious. But coming from someone like Rob Parker, it's to be expected. And to give you guys some backstory on the Rob Parker vs. Steph Curry rivalry, it's very one-sided. As Rob in the past decade has taken numerous big swings and missed on nearly all of them that involve Steph Curry. Looking at his recent history, he said Steph Curry wasn't a transcendent player. He said he ruined the NBA, and his max contract was the worst deal of all time. And quite possibly, the coldest and downright worst take from Rob Parker is saying Steph Curry is not the GOAT shooter. Doubting Steph Curry is a very bold strategy. And unfortunately for Rob Parker, it's worked out horribly like much of his Tom Brady takes from back in the day.
As he turns 35, Tom Brady's on the downside of his career, and if you ask me if he'll ever get to another Super Bowl, I have one answer. No way, no how.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
And still looking at Rob Parker, he's a great case study on moving the goalpost. As when you're wrong as much as he is, that's literally all you can do. And his latest comments about Steph have been proved wrong time and time again. As looking at this quote, he says Steph Curry is a top 10 player who couldn't win one game in the finals with a 73-win team. And goes even further, saying Steph wouldn't be held in high regard if it wasn't for Kevin Durant. Now, let's not get it twisted. Steph Curry back in 2016 isn't the one who needed Kevin Durant. It was vice versa. As in the Western Conference Finals, it wasn't Steph blowing a 3-1 lead and then going to OKC. That was Kevin Durant. And of course in 2015, Steph, without Kevin Durant, won nearly 7 games and the championship. For any objective NBA fan, we know this and it's simply facts. But for someone like Rob Parker, he ignores this and continues with his narratives. And when talking about the worst NBA analysts, someone like Rob Parker or Skip Bayless, one of their go-tos is using if. Newsflash to you guys, any debate argument that begins with if is not dealing in reality. If Nick Collison had a 48-inch vertical, he would have been an all-star. If Marcelo Huertas was 6'9", he would have been Magic Johnson. If Oliver Miller didn't go back for seconds and thirds, he would have been Shaq. And trying to downplay Steph and take away 2 championships, it's a lame and tired tactic. But even with that being said, looking at Steph's overall resume, minus those 2 championships in 2017 and 2018, it's still highly impressive and debatably top 15 all time, as he has 2 MVPs, 2 scoring titles, 2 championships, 1 Finals MVP, he's the all-time leader in 3-pointers, an 8-time All-Star, the most threes in a season, and the leader of a 73-win team. It's definitely not top 10, but that resume alone clears Kevin Durant by a country mile. And speaking of Kevin Durant, looking at him and Steph's first title back in 2017, most people look at that ring and say KD was the clear-cut better player. But if you really dive deep into it, Steph for most of that run was Golden State's most impactful as well as best player. As looking at the first round versus Portland, Steph averaged 29.8 points per game, more than KD, and the Warriors without KD went 2-0. Looking at the second round versus Utah, both KD and Steph averaged 24.5 points. And versus the Spurs in the conference finals, Steph Curry averaged a team-high 31.5. Heading into the NBA Finals, Steph Curry was the team's leader in points as well as assists, and doing it on phenomenal shooting splits. And when it came to the NBA Finals, admittedly, Kevin Durant was fantastic. But adding some context, Ty Lue in that series admitted Cleveland was trying to stop Steph and not Kevin Durant. That once again speaks volumes to Steph Curry being the best and most impactful player on the Golden State Warriors. And looking at both their runs in total, it's very, very similar. But Steph obviously had a higher offensive impact, he was a better playmaker, and defenses were focusing on KD secondary to Steph Curry. At the very least, Steph was on KD's level, but I would argue he was a hair better. And looking back at Rob Parker, if I ever have a bad take or I'm wrong, I'll admit it and I'll tell you guys. But for Rob, he's the rare case of a guy who keeps digging his hole deeper and deeper with worse and worse takes when it comes to Steph, LeBron James, and especially Tom Brady. And going next year, Steph is easily a top 3 player and is very likely to have a second run of back-to-back titles. He's already proven everyone wrong time and time again, but if he gets 5 championship rings, that truly is going to be special. Now, going full circle in this video, looking at Steph's 4 championships, I think every Warriors fan values last year's ring 10 times more than the Kevin Durant rings. As in 2022, Steph once again won a championship as the guy carrying his team and finally got the Finals MVP. And what made it even sweeter is that Golden State the previous 2 years had missed the playoffs. A very rare feat to go from a non-playoff team to NBA champions just like that. And speaking for myself, I think Steph's ring in 2015 is highly underrated and overlooked due to him not winning Finals MVP. So that is the end of the video. I wanted to expose Rob Parker really quickly, his terrible arguments, his awful Steph Curry takes, and his track record of being dead wrong about Steph Curry at nearly every turn. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.